a show that the New York Times said, we've never heard of that show, or Frank Nicotero, please stop emailing us. It's Punchlines. I am Frank Nicotero, longtime comedian, lifelong sports fan, and today's show will go a long way to try and entertain and inform. We just hope we don't end up short on today's show like Colorado Rockies' Brenton Doyle's record distance shot the other day in a game. Watch this. Here's the swing and a pitch, and has backspin on it, and it stops right there at the top of the plate. It just tags him out. This is officially, according to StatCast, 1 inch. I mean, look, what can you do? He just hands the ball to the ump. Go ahead and send that off to Cooperstown as the weakest hit ball in the history of baseball. What do you think of that, Ryan?
Yeah, kind of embarrassing on that one.
I mean, but it's a fluke. I mean, Willie Mays could have done that.
Yeah.
Why I went Willie Mays, I'm not really sure.
I mean,
Who am I speaking with right now? Behind the glass, that's what you're wondering. That's been reinforced in case you want to bang on the glass like at a hockey game. It's Ryan B. McCormick. The B is for boyish looks. Your boyish looks, Ryan.
Thanks.
Yeah, right? Well, you're a young guy.
Yeah,
what do we have coming? This is a big show today, very special show. What do we got?
Yeah. Well, we got a very special guest coming up later, about around 12:30. We've got a U.S. Hockey Olympian, a Hockey Hall of Famer, a 16-year NHL veteran, a Stanley Cup champion, cancer survivor. We have Eddie Olczyk coming on the show.
There you go. Head coach of the Penguins at one point.
At one point, yes.
Yeah, the return of Eddie O to talk pucks
Kraken.
and ponies, hockey and horses. Very exciting. He was so good on the show a couple weeks ago, and he's a family friend, so he came back to do it again for you. So nice job, Ryan. And we have plenty of other stuff too.
Yeah. We got a signature with another one of our guests today, Fungo Trivia, and then we've got some good posts talking about a bunch of different stuff around sports. So.
And picks today, we usually do picks at 12:36, but because we're gonna have Eddie on at 12:30, we're gonna do picks at 12:26. So adjust your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. Be prepared for picks in 24 minutes. On the show, it's Thursday. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, he just switched seats. He usually sits here for Sports by the Book in the morning, so he moved down one seat. It's the one and only Jeff Parles. JP.
Yeah, Jeff.
Yes. Jeff, what do you have for 12:26 today? You got something you want to tease us, maybe what you're thinking?
I'm going to tell you, I'm a little bit frightened. I had it all because it's moved up 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
The song's not going to make any sense to anyone.
Funny you should say that, because Jerry took our voices and his voice. We're going to try to do it live at 12:26. We're doing a live vocal.
Oh, boy. Jerry, you ready for that?
We're doing it live.
Jerry's
ready.
Jerry just put his fingers up like Gene Simmons. He's in good shape.
That's all he does, man. That's the Jerry signal, man. That's the Field Fox signal. Single drops June 19th. His new band single. We're gonna play it on the show. Don't worry. Is
that going to be the new Punchline Picks at 12:36 jingle though?
Could be. I don't know. We're gonna
Is it appropriate for air?
No,
it doesn't look good.
It's gonna be good. All right. We like to start off with the coolest clip in the night or the funniest clip in the night. We have something pretty interesting. This comes from women's softball. I do have, when I'm working in the background, I have the college softball on. Oklahoma is the powerhouse. They won game 1 last night, right?
Yes.
Of the college.
That game is currently showing last night's game.
Right. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good game. And then these guys are like, hey, idiot, that's from last night. But anyway, the Florida Gators had a pretty good run, and they have a very unusual thing that they do that they've been doing for decades. Go ahead, roll it, Sean. Here we go. So the girl who wears jersey number 1, I think her name is Brooke Barnhart or Bernard. Her job is to give a wedgie to anyone that hits a home run. Now, they've been doing this in Florida for decades. So there you go. Hit a homer, you get a wedgie.
That doesn't seem like a good reward.
It doesn't seem like a reward. Like I said,
that's a weird one.
I would round third and look at the ump and go, can I just stop at third? Can I just have
Can
a
I
triple?
just take an automatic triple?
Right,
Yeah.
take a triple, maybe get sack flied in. Or
I'm going to steal home. That'd be in good shape.
Apparently they've been doing that for decades.
Yeah.
But
Weird.
again, we could have led this story with a Florida woman. I mean, it could have been a Florida man. Could have been a Florida man story, but it's the Gators. They no longer are in the World Series. It's Oklahoma and Tejas. So it's that's the Red River Barbecue, or what is it? The battle
rivalry.
What do they call it in football?
Well, it was the Red River Shootout.
Red River
but we're not
Shootout.
allowed to say that anymore.
Why?
Well, it's with the time. So it's now the Red River Rivalry, Frank.
We can't say shootout.
And also,
are we editing westerns?
Even though I will tell you,
is it the good and the bad and the not attractive now?
I will tell you though, Frank.
What?
The Red River Barbecue sounds not only great but delicious on top of it.
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds pretty good.
Maybe we should find a
By
barbecue.
the way, the football game, which almost historically is always 11 a.m.
Yeah,
because they're concerned about the amount of
drinking?
people
Too many beers.
drinking at the same time at the Texas State Fair, at the Cotton Bowl. This year, because ESPN, ABC has different ideas,
Right.
and they don't care about people's
Don't
safety.
tell me it's an evening game.
They're starting the game at 2:30
Okay.
local time in
Okay.
Dallas. So an extra 3.5 hours before you even get in the building to
So
have
here's
some
something
fun.
I didn't even realize. So when I was shooting Street Smarts from 2000 to 2006, 2000, I think it was 2000 or 2001, we shot at the Texas State Fair. We did a summer where we did state fairs. Minnesota, Tennessee.
Did you go to Iowa?
We didn't do Iowa. We did Minnesota.
Iowa's a good one.
Minnesota was amazing.
Yeah.
Wisconsin was
Oh,
great.
those upper Midwest ones are always
Huge.
great because it's just fried whatever you could find to throw it in there.
Snickers.
You wanted to fry my phone?
Right,
throw
they
it in
could
there.
do it. So we did the Texas one, and we shot right by the big I was at a Red River shootout and didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Until like a couple years later, I'm like, yeah, Oklahoma was playing Texas. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't realize it, but I remember Oklahoma won because afterwards,
well,
there were a
early
lot of drunken
2000s was
Oklahoma.
when they won their title.
There you go. So it was like
Was,
2000 or 2001.
Yeah.
That's not Brad. That's before Sam Bradford, right?
No, and it's Jason White.
Jason White,
Right?
God.
Jason White?
Is that the guy who won the Heisman and then couldn't make it with the Rams and camp?
And
or
Jason
something?
White was not an NFL caliber
No,
quarterback.
but he won
It
the
was like-
Heisman.
Yeah, it was like him, Eric Crouch. We had that run of just guys who had no chance of being pros.
They were trying to be like
Heismans.
defensive backs or something, I think.
Yeah. BC, by the way, 2000. So the 2001 Orange Bowl.
Okay.
But it's the 2000 season.
Yeah.
Oklahoma won the BCS national championship that year. So you might have been outside the year that they won the title, Frank.
Might have been.
Might have been. They won that title game 13-2.
Wow.
Jesus.
2.
See, that'll never happen again. 13
Probably
to
not.
2. All right, so there you go. That was our comedy clip. It's Thursday. Jeff is here. I already said that. Tonight, we finally have game 1 of the NBA playoffs. Boston, what are they? 6.5-point favorites, Ryan? Something like that.
They are 6.5 here at the
6.5 point
total
favorites.
216
That
and
is
a
one
half.
of the lower lines for the Celtics this postseason. A lot of people talking about how Indiana almost stole that game. Indiana should have won game 1 in Boston. Maybe Dallas can do it. I don't know. Even Boston fans are taking Dallas tonight with the points. Could be a close game.
Yeah, and it looks like the movement's headed to the over as well because
Well,
we taled about it the other day. it was
Right. Alex
214.
wanted it like 214.5, 215.
Yeah, and now it's up to 216 and a half.
Whoa. And I noticed that Luka, his over was 30. It's like 31.5 now.
Yeah, it was 30 and a half when we talked about it yesterday.
Okay.
So.
I mean, you only had a week to figure this out.
I was just going to say this again. Get down to the South Point early on these bets. If you feel strong about it, get it in early. I did a crazy parlay. I woke up this morning. Have you noticed, Ryan, that I've been getting up sooner and earlier in the morning?
I have not noticed.
Congratulations.
Well, I earned a nickname around here that I don't think was fair. I earned the nickname
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty because we have a group thread and there'd be a lot of texts and I'd wake up like sometimes maybe 10. I'd be like, hey, what I miss? Like, so everyone called me Sleeping Beauty. But
I think
now
the rest of us think it's fair.
my dog is in my face. He's right here about 7 a.m. 7 sometimes I'll go and I'll let him out and go back to bed. But I'm liking being up early and I can be involved in everyone. I put on Sports by the Book. I do everything now.
Company
anyway,
man.
What's that?
Company man.
Company
You-
man. And what was my point to this whole thing?
I have no idea.
That I was up early. Oh, yeah. I made a parlay. I did a weird parlay because Alex talked about yesterday. Alex White talked about that Luke has gotten a triple-double in both games against the Celtics and that she wanted to bet the triple-double.
Yep.
I couldn't find that as a bet, so I pieced it together myself, and I had accidentally included Kyrie over 30 points or something. So I have like a four-leg parlay. That was like plus $2,500.
Did you fat finger it by accident?
That's not a problem for me. I think sometimes I just look at something and I highlight it and I forget. So, but sometimes the mistakes, this will be the great story for tomorrow. And I'll be like, oh my God, I hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's meant to be.
Red River Barbecue on me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You'll be able to pay your Pittsburgh tab.
What's
I
that?
said you'll be able to pay your Pittsburgh tab.
My God, I told you once we decide what we're doing with it.
Alex had the idea yesterday that we get the Aces tickets with it.
Okay, well then there you go. I mean, but how would I be able to afford a new shirt like this? Has anyone noticed my new shirt in the comments yet? Joey B, guess where I got it from? Oh, wait, I look up and all I see is Red Panda. That's all I see. Reno Paul. I was talking to Reno Paul. That's my own. I made those T-shirts with your picture. What? I should really pre-read these. Jerry's out of the basement. Makes me nervous. Is that what it says? From Reno Paul? I don't know. Reno Paul likes when Jerry's downstairs. I don't know what that means. Today is June 6th.
So is Reno Paul pro dungeon?
I don't know. I don't know what that means. Explain yourself. Keith Lyle Parles likes to pick his seat. I think that's like a wedgie joke, maybe coming off that. Keith Lyle. Keith Lyle will be at the Delirious Comedy Club at Hennessy's with Aaron O'Connor, Kathleen Dunbar this weekend, downtown Vegas. And, lucky Tommy worked at the Texas State Fair as a carny 20 years ago. Why does this not surprise me? Tommy, I can see you as a carny. I see you running one of the tilt-a-whirls or something. Today is June 6, 2024. 80 years ago today was D-Day. So thank you to all those who served and made the ultimate sacrifice. It really was the beginning and the end of World War II. So thank you to our servicemen. 80 years. That's something we wanted to mark. Today is also National Drive-In Movie Theater Day. And as I was thinking back to my days at drive-in theaters, I realized, have Ryan and Jeff ever been to a drive-in?
I've been to a drive-in. Yeah.
Okay. Is there one still in Vegas?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we're driving in it one night.
It's over in North Las Vegas by Fiesta Rancho. It's by the North Las Vegas airport.
That would be a good company bonding thing, wouldn't it? We all go to a drive-in, right? Pop the trunk, bring the cooler.
It's a home game for our guy Sean then.
Sean, we're doing it. You could make some of your salt. You can whip something up. He's in.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea.
All right, wait, what happened? All right, it's a good idea. What movie do you remember seeing in a drive-in?
I've been a couple times, but it was a while ago. I know Tiff and I have been on a couple dates there, but
that reminds me.
I don't remember the movies.
Yeah, that reminds me of something. Jeff, you've been to a drive-in?
I think once, but I can't even remember what it was.
I'm going to show my age, but I remember seeing the original Grease in the drive-in several times.
Travolta?
Yeah.
That's a fitting movie to see at a drive-in.
What's that again?
So that's a fitting movie to see at a drive-in.
Well, Kids Alone. Remember, he got stranded at the drive-in was one of the songs. But anyway, this is when you had the big metal speaker. You had to hang on your window. Now you tune it through the radio. But it was the Mustang Drive-In in Santa Clarita, California. And we saw so many movies at this thing. It was the best. And then in high school, one of the last remaining ones in Pittsburgh, we would get in the trunk and sneak in, because it was like, and then we'd drink or whatever. So one time I was sneaking in with my buddy Charlie Pinkerton, and I fell. There was a cliff. I fell backwards into a stream, and there was a giant rock that missed my head like by that much. And I go, what the hell? I look up at my friend Charlie. I just look up and I just hear him going, So he's just looking down. He's lost. So I stand up and just march right in where they could still see you sopping wet. I'm like, I don't care if they see me breaking the law. I was soaking wet. So National Drive-In Day. That's it. Anyway, I saw Grease. It's episode 169, which is incredible. So 169. Hold for jokes. I'm sure Keith Lyle's already on it. And let's go ahead and take a look at our lines of the night. We like to do this, look at something that happened last night. And we always like to start with our man, JP. That's right. I'm calling you JP. Yeah, how many people call you JP?
Not many, but I don't, that's not a bad one.
It's not a bad one.
So you can go to it real quick here.
Okay.
The White Sox are not good at this baseball thing.
Have they lost 13 in a row?
13 in a row. They're big underdogs. You're probably going to break it.
Who is that man? Is that
that is Pedro Grifol, who was the manager. So the White Sox have equaled their longest losing streak ever of 13 games, which occurred last in 1924, Frank.
Oh, my God.
That's 100 years ago. That's 100 years ago.
They wanted to commemorate that.
See, you know what? It's a once in a century thing that the White Sox
maybe they could fly some of those guys in from that team.
Get the Black Sox a few years earlier.
That's true, 1919, right?
But Ryan, there you go. Longest losing streak since 2000. Of course, the Orioles in the middle of 2021 was really a miserable year, wasn't it?
Yeah, Orioles and
19, he had a 17.
Seattle
05 Royals team was really awful. But White Sox with a loss tonight will move squarely into the top 10 at 14 games. By the way, they're only facing Boston's best pitcher tonight, Tanner Houck. So they're big favorites to lose the game tonight here, Frank.
That is amazing. And your Cubbies benefited from playing them. Probably should have lost one or two.
Probably should have lost both of them.
Yeah, they really should have.
I mean,
they really should have.
That's a team that you need to beat, and being down 4+ runs in both games and then coming back to win.
Showing a lot of moxie.
It's not really a confidence. I mean, maybe for the team it's a confidence builder because it shows that you can win games, but that's a team that you should beat handily.
You know what's ridiculous too? Just in-game markets. At least the first one. I didn't see what it was last night, but Cubs were in a 5-0 hole in the first game of the series, and it was plus 240.
Yeah. Oh, really?
That's it.
That's not amazing. Yeah, that's not
down 5 runs. That's not good at all.
That should be like a Shohei plus 550 line at that point, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Ryan's face always
He
lights
got
up.
the money back because Frank failed at it. So
JR worked at a drive-in theater at the entrance 2 summers. It's when I finally became popular in high school. JR, who works at the ballpark, I'm assuming he let friends in for free. Is that what you're saying, JR? There you go. Yeah, we would just shove people in the trunk, which we saw like from a Happy Days episode. We were still doing it in the 80s, 35 years ago. Okay, now that I did the math. Wait. Aaron O'Connor has a few more camel names from you and one from Bob Zaney. Let him fly. Let us know. She had Forrest Hump as the name of our camel for Hump Day Homers.
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Aaron is also at Hennessy's this weekend downtown Fremont Street. Okay, so your line of the night, Ryan.
My line of the night, looking at the WNBA action. Last night, the Las Vegas Aces went into Dallas and beat the Wings 95-81. But Asia Wilson became the first player in WNBA history to have 35-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 5-plus steals in a game. So Asia Wilson or Asia one of one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Got to read those. You work hard on those. Those are good. We we go back and forth with these. That's a great one. Yeah, very impressive. I found it hard to believe that no one in the league had ever done 35, 10, and 5, but she's the first one.
Yeah, she ended up having six steals on the game.
Hell of a player.
Very much, statue stuff.
She's incredible.
She really is. And the WNBA is just getting so much ink. We talk about it all the time on the show because this is kind of the golden age for the WNBA, I think. And we're going to talk about the 3-on-3 team later in post. We'll get to that soon because there's a lot of cool video we have from that. My line of the night, wow, where do you think I'm going to go? Well, let's go to the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Los Angeles Dodgers, my 2 favorite baseball teams. Obviously, the Pirates are my number 1. Paul Skeens talked about it yesterday. I said, let's look at his strikeouts. It was 6.5. I think during the show, it jumped up to 7.5.
Yep.
So you needed 8. He ended up getting 8. So I didn't give that out as an official pick, but had I, that would have been nice. But the first pitch of the game was really important to 2 guys. So go ahead and roll this clip. So
100.1 and 101. Come on, fastball right down the plus 205 between 100.
So the guy just shoves, as the kids say. Like Ryan. That's a great angle, by the way, warming up.
At home,
That really is cool. By the way, the number 30, I'd like to find out where he wears 30.
Against Mookie Betts, juices are going to.
So he's going against Mookie Betts. Oh, who's that? Was that
We're
Levy?
going to need to check the tape.
I saw that.
100.0, we lose.
All right, so here we go.
Right here.
Tell him to heat it, Paul.
Mookie Betts, juices are flowing. Momentum's high.
Okay, so it says 101.
Dude, check it.
But what are they check? Where are they checking the official
Well,
exact?
they'll go on MLB's
Okay.
numbers. So,
So they got it.
No. 100.8.
So
100.8 is
was
good.
official. Look at that umpire, man. Did you see that ball? If the catcher misses that, that goes right into his throat.
Yeah.
Anyway, Skeens was he was good. He was good. We're going to show that later.
Yeah, we'll have a little bit later.
We don't have the first pitch. You can bet on speed. Where
I have no idea.
Yeah, I've never heard of that bet.
oh, that's available at a lot of these new
Really?
ones. Yeah.
Well, I want to do it with Skeens next time.
FanDuel. I don't know if DraftKings does it. I know FanDuel was doing it when I was
Goodbye
away.
college baseball. Hello,
Hello,
DraftKings. Did you see that?
That's a good one.
By the way, that was my favorite one yesterday. Goodbye college baseball. Hello, DraftKings.
Yeah, that was one of the most
That guy
ridiculous.
from Duke.
One of the most ridiculous.
We have a bonus line of the night. This came in late
We've got
breaking.
2 bonus.
We've got
ones.
2 bonuses. Are we going to mine first? That
Yeah,
one? Okay.
yeah.
So, I don't know. Boston fans, they're not the smartest fans. They are the most obnoxious fans in all sports. Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox. So here are these shirts. They're poking the bear. Kyrie sucks. Luka sucks. Game 1 tonight. What are they doing? What are they thinking? Because the last time they did this, there was a picture of Steph Curry holding one with the trophy after they beat the Celtics. This is exactly what Luka Doncic wants.
I have no comment.
Jeff
on
is
this.
speaking.
I have no
For the
comment
first
on
time in history.
on this idiocy. It's stupid. It's stupid. Just wait. Why would you bother? Look, there's a past history of Kyrie in Boston. We know that.
Right.
I just petty dumb.
But by the way, I wonder if Luka came up. Did you ever see the 30 for 30 with Brian Bosworth? Brian Bosworth, all these fans that buy these shirts said Boz sucks, Boz. It was his shirt. He's the one who put him out. And so he was a genius.
Paying him, yeah.
He was a genius.
Yeah,
and of course, I
really
told you that story where he ripped the hat off my head. I think that's in the shorts. We'll have to look that back up again. College football season. All right. What is your bonus one?
So the bonus one, looking at Alex's That's Crazy yesterday, the teams that were going for a 3-0 series lead or for a series sweep. So I put together the Parm Parlay. So
What is this?
the 3 teams that did end up completing the sweep were the Phillies, Angels, Reds, and Mets. You take the first letter of all those teams, you get Parm.
Come on.
So the Parm parlay,
Ryan
if you
working
took a
OT.
rollover money line bet on each of these, so from Monday, Tuesday,
Right.
and Wednesday, on all three of these teams to win on the money line, Monday, the Phillies were minus 190, the Angels were plus 138, the Reds were minus 110, and the Mets were plus 102.
Okay.
A $5 bet would have paid $65. A $100 bet would have paid $1,300.
Whoa.
Day 2, the Phillies were a minus 146, the Angels were a minus 108, the Reds were a minus 122, and the Mets were a minus 137. If you rolled over those winnings, your $65 bet would have paid $600, and your $100 bet would have paid now $11,987.
This.
And if you go roll over to yesterday, the Phillies were a minus 165,
Right,
the
1-2
Angels were plus
nothing.
160, the Reds were minus 139, and the Mets were minus 140. Your $5 bet would have become $6,777.70, and your $100 bet would have became $135,565.
Could you repeat all of that one more
Can you
time?
get the,
So-
can you get the DeLorean out so we can go back then?
Get out of my brain. I was going to say, get Stewie Griffin's time machine, go back in time and bet
All right,
these.
then we were on the same way.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, that would have been
Good stats,
Awesome
Ryan.
to
Really,
call it.
really.
I
coming
also
through
want
the
chicken
stats.
parm now, though. That's
Yeah.
that's really the big issue here.
That's what makes sure we have Red River Barbecue or Parm. We don't know what we're doing for lunch. All right, good lines of the night. Why don't we close the show with Frankie Fungo trivia and do some posts now? And
Sure.
then
Can I sound the horn?
I always let you go. For
Sound
it.
the horn. Sound it. Let's go.
There it is, the P button on the keyboard. Ann set it up for Sean that way while she's in Chicago on vacation. She'll be going to Comiskey Park, whatever they call it now. Comiskey Park is
Guaranteed. Rate.
Guaranteed rate right
Guaranteed
now.
rate.
Yeah, guaranteed
That's
rate
guaranteed
field
rate.
with the downward arrow, which makes a whole lot of sense. That's
Oh,
the logo.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
That. Well, Ann's gonna get the campfire milkshake that we've been shown.
By
She's
the
gonna
way,
get-
real quick, I know we don't have this on here today, but if you check out what Ozzie Guillen said last night,
oh yeah,
just check that out. It was pretty funny.
Ozzie Guillen's the man. By the way, why isn't he the coach of the White Sox right now?
Nah, he's
I'll
better
take
than-
him in
yeah.
Pittsburgh. Fire Shelton, give me Ozzie Guillen. All right, post with punchlines. What?
Well-
Shut up, Paul. We're not calling it toe. Go for it.
First, starting with something we were talking about earlier, the game tonight, Mavericks at Celtics.
Right.
So this guy has two different parlays, one with the NBA champion and one with the NHL champion. So futures bets, which one would you guys rather have? So he placed a $100 bet on South Carolina to win the women's national championship, UConn to win the men's national championship. He got the Celtics at plus 220 and the Panthers at plus 900.
Wow.
$100 to pay $36,700.
That's the
Or
one.
he also has the same guy has a $25
Jeez.
bet. The Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, plus
Carolina.
26. South Carolina women's national championship, UConn again, and then the Edmonton Oilers. So he has both sides of the Stanley Cup
Wow.
final. $25 to pay $13,184.
Man, what a
So-
free roll.
Yeah, which one are you more confident?
First of all, does he have cash out options at the bottom?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
not worth it at this point.
the $100 cashes out for $9,000 and the $25 cashes out for $4,500.
yeah, and
Why wouldn't you just take both for 13 grand right there?
I mean, technically, but here's the thing, though, Frank. If the Celtics win the NBA Finals and the way the schedule breaks down, the NBA Finals should end before
Yep.
the Stanley Cup final
Oh.
ends. You have a complete free roll on the hockey. It's a
Wow.
complete free roll. Which I mean, personally, I think again, even though there was something that popped on Twitter today that really scares me. If you like the chalk,
Okay.
with the Celtics and the Panthers, I do think that left ticket is the one that I would
Let's
rather
keep
have.
Boston and Florida. It's the two favorites, right?
I think Florida and Boston are, but I think both favorites are going to win their
Right.
respective
You've said that.
series.
Yeah. You said that
So,
on
but man, what a
Tuesday.
if the Celtics can sweep. I mean, what a free roll this
Yeah.
turns into. If the
Yeah.
Celtics can win that NBA Finals pretty quickly.
Yeah. Wow. What would you do, Ryan?
I mean, to Jeff's point, if the Celtics end that series early,
Yeah.
you can cash out that one if you're more confident with Edmonton or more confident with Florida, then you can keep it. But you could cash out for 15,000+ on the Celtics winning and
Wow.
then ride with Edmonton and win
Yeah.
another 13.
Good eye, Jeff. Good way to
So-
look at it. Both of you guys. All right. Cool, man. That was. Would you? All right. I like it. Good one.
Okay, so now someone that the Mavericks eliminated from the playoffs was Nikola Jokic, and somebody
Yeah. What?
uh,
What was he doing?
found him whitewater
But
rafting.
I feel like they were stalking him. How? It's not like, I guess,
Yeah.
although you could recognize a 7-footer in a raft.
Yeah.
We don't know where this is, right?
Yeah, no, I'm guessing this is somewhere.
See, I thought that was him in the black tee facing. It's him in the red.
you know it's not
yeah,
in
it's him
Colorado.
in the front of the boat.
You know it's not in Colorado, even though obviously Colorado is one of the best white river rafting places in the entire world.
Yeah.
Because you know as soon as the season ends, Jokic was back on a plane back home.
He goes home.
You know that.
We know that. He goes home.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's just a weird clip because the guy's screaming something in a language we don't understand.
Yeah, and Jokic is
But I like it. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen the movie River Wild with Kevin Bacon and Meryl Streep?
No.
Oh, it's an old movie. I think they remade it recently. She's going down the river and Kevin Bacon's the creepy guy stalking him. It's a little Deliverance. Look up River Wild. It's a good. I think I saw it at a drive-in. No, I didn't. Okay. Next up.
Okay, so talking about yesterday's baseball game between the Pirates and Dodgers.
What?
We'll first look at Skeens versus Ohtani, the first at bat,
Unbelievable.
which happened to be one of the first things
Top of the first inning.
to happen in Major League Baseball history. There was a strike. Paul Skeens' strikeout here was the first by a starter under pitch tracking. So since 2008, of 3
Amazing.
pitches, 3 swings and misses, all over 100 miles an hour.
Just ridiculous. And look at that looks. I mean, I know that's a simulation, but just imagine your reaction time. Even Ohtani. And that's the end right there. Ohtani, here you go, striking out. There it is.
Yeah, but he got
That's
him
the
back.
end. What?
No, so that was round 1.
What? There's a round 2?
And now we have round 2.
Damn it! But Skeens went at him. It was a 3-2 pitch. He went big on big, is what he said in the postgame. He goes, hey, those are the matchups you live for, big guy, big guy. And he hit the batters
So
out.
off 100.1. It's fastest pitch Ohtani has homered off of in his career. It's the second fastest pitch that a Dodger has taken deep in the StatCast era.
Now, something fascinating Scott Van Pelt said last night. That is the first extra base hit in Ohtani's career on a pitch 100 or higher. I don't know what to make of that. I know he can catch up to high heat. We've seen it, but
well, to get to the 2 strikes in that count, were swings and misses that he couldn't catch up to from. Skeens.
Trust me, I was watching that whole game. Both games have been great tonight. Walker Buehler versus Bailey Falter. I don't know if the Pirates can sweep, but Jones and Skeens, man, you want to face them in a short playoff series if their innings aren't limited and they can make the postseason. I don't know. I'm already thinking postseason. It's not even the All-Star break, and I'm trying to put the Pirates. Oh, my God, it's 12:26. Thank you, Sean, for rolling that. We got to do our picks and then get Eddie O on real quick. You want to talk picks? We're going to hear about hockey and horses, ponies and pucks. Jeff, what do you have us for pick at 12:27?
Let's get into it live.
Back to the WNBA
Yeah, well, there
again.
you go. Okay.
We'll take the Mystics outright tonight against the Chicago Sky. Plus 140, the number behind us. There is some plus 145 out there, so if you can find it, go at it. Mystics haven't won a game yet.
Okay.
Sky have not really handled this spotlight that has come after what has occurred over
You
the
were
last
with the
week.
Sky, I think, on Tuesday.
Yeah, they were covering until
Yeah.
the fourth quarter, and then they
Exactly.
got annihilated in the fourth quarter.
That
I felt like I had
happens.
the right side, but whatever. it happens. But I'll go the other way. I like the Mystics at home to get on the board, their first win of the year, plus 140.
Okay, there you go. Ryan, anything from you?
I'm staying off today.
Now, I abstained yesterday from, even though I was leaning towards the Pirates and Paul Skeens, Seattle on the road is in 10 minutes. I'm not doing it. I have yet to win with the Padres this year. I bet the
You're going to
Padres.
try to win with them tonight?
With who?
With the Padres?
I am going to try the Padres, yeah. I'm going to take the Padres at home against the struggling Diamondbacks, minus 125. I have yet to win on San Diego this year. I think I've bet them twice. I never gave them out as a pick. I am 9-2 in my last 11. So I have been hot. So I'm going to go with the Padres at home. If they burn me, I'm never betting San Diego again. That team's been a huge disappointment. I don't even like the Padres that much. I do like their uniforms, though. So there you go. I'm making it official. Yesterday, what did you have? You had the Yankees.
Yankees run line, and then
2 days in a row you had the Yankees, and they both hit.
Yeah, and then my hump day homer ended up not playing yesterday.
Oh yes, but Jose Ramirez in the rain out off of Brady Singer, which was last night's matchup as well.
Yep.
Hit a homer in the third.
So I think it should count.
I have official. I'm not even going to put an asterisk. I'm going to go ahead and give you credit as a home run.
I am on the board.
You're on the board. Alex has 2. You have 1. I have 0. Although I did say on the show yesterday, Ohtani might catch up to Skeens, and I should have done that, and instead I went with Kristen Yelich, who went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. All right, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side is Eddie Olczyk. We just want to make sure everything's set up properly. Come back for Hall of Famer Eddie Olczyk right after this.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, Triple Sevens, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part, Blackjack...
Oh, me. Okay, sorry. Hey, I was just looking at some live comments. Alex White reminded us it was 12:26. Thank you, Alex. Call our camel King Arthur of Camelot. I like that, Paul. And Keith Lau likes the Yankees with Marcus Stroman tonight. I never trust Marcus Stroman. All right. Returning to the show, we're very excited. Ryan, why don't you do the honors since he's a family friend?
U.S. Hockey Hall of Famer, 1994 Stanley Cup champion with the New York Rangers, commentator for TNT with the Seattle Kraken as well, 16-year NHL veteran, Eddie Olczyk.
Eddie Olczyk is here. Yay, we're very happy to have Eddie back. Look at this full screen. Eddie, what's happening?
Oh, how are you, Frank, Rye, Jeff? Nice to be with you guys. Hope you're doing well. And in my little world, because it is all about me, no better time in the world than pucks and ponies right now. I mean, we got Stanley Cup Finals starting on Saturday night. I'm off. My vacation has started. ESPN, my friends over at ESPN have the Stanley Cup Final, and us at TNT, our season's over because we did the Western Conference between Dallas and Edmonton. So I'm headed to Belmont for the Belmont at Saratoga tomorrow. So I'll be on site as a fan for the first time in a long time at a big horse racing event. So nice to be with you guys. And Pucks and Ponies weekend, not too bad. And oh, by the way, a little tease for everybody. There is a Pucks and Ponies tie-in to this important weekend before Game 1 of the Cup Final and the running of the Belmont at Saratoga this weekend. So stay tuned.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, so with the Belmont being at Saratoga, they are going to be running a shorter distance, right? It's not going to be the normal Belmont distance.
Yeah.
So they're running the Derby distance. Does that make a difference to take a shot on Mystic Dan to win that same kind of race?
Yeah, I mean, they're running a mile and a quarter, right? For people that may not know, usually when they do run the race at Belmont, it's a mile and a half. So obviously they're going a little shorter. But a lot of these horses have run in a Kentucky Derby. I mean, look, you have the Kentucky Derby. You mentioned Mystic Dan, who ran second in the Preakness. You got the Preakness winner in Seize the Gray, which will be breaking from post position 1. Will be running on Saturday as well. You have a horse by the name of Dornock, who I think really needs to be close to the lead in order to have any shot to win this race. He ended up running 10th in the Kentucky Derby from post position number 1. You have Honor Marie running from the Derby, who ran 8th and finished 13th, and Sierra Leone, who finished 2nd in the Kentucky Derby, will be the post-time favorite. So it's an absolutely wide open race, but a lot of these horses, I say the majority of them probably won't run a mile a quarter again in their life, and they're doing it 2 times in a matter of about 5 weeks. So I think it's an absolutely wide open race, and Mystic Dan will be on my tickets, but he's not going to be my pick on Saturday, that's for sure.
So talking about Sierra Leone, probably closing the post-time favorite, she has they have a different rider this time around, right? So does that make a difference being in the final race of the Triple Crown?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't like that Flavien Prat, who is one of the top jockeys in the world, let alone in the U.S., is going to jump on for Tyler Gaffalione, who is one of the top riders. And It's a different move because Tyler Gaffalione has ridden this horse for the last 3 races and has 2 wins and had the second and probably got beat this much in the Kentucky Derby. Didn't have the greatest trip. The horse was kind of lugging in with the Japanese horse that was to the inside of Sierra Leone. And trader Chad Brown decides to make a rider change. So I think this horse has that ability to be able to want to lug in getting, if the horse is outside, wants to kind of pressure in and make it a little bit more difficult to ride. So I trust Chad Brown, the trainer's decision here. But I don't think there's much of a drop off when you look at Gaffalione and Pratt. And, you have to use the 9 horse for sure. Sierra Leone, you definitely have to use just because of the running style. I mentioned the horses. I think there's a lot of pace in this race. I think they're going to go relatively quick and just go inside horse racing if I can. If you're watching the race on Saturday, wherever you're watching it from, but the race will be on Fox on Big Fox on Saturday. If you hear Frank Miramati, who's the voice of Saratoga, if you hear him say, he'll give all kinds of numbers when they're running at times. When you hear him say 6 furlongs in or 3/4 of a mile in, if they're running in 1 minute and 10 and 2/5, or if they're in that minute and 10-second range or faster, the chances of any of those horses holding on will probably be a lot less. Now, if they go 111 in 2, 111 in 3, 112, then it's going to make it much more difficult for the horses to come from behind. So I think that threshold is 1 minute and 10 and 2/5. If they run that number or faster or lower, then I think the horses that come from off the pace or deeper will have a bigger chance. And I think that's what the 9 horse favorite Sierra Leone is probably hoping for. The faster they go, the better for the 9 horse to pick up the pieces and win the running of the Belmont Stakes at Saratoga on Saturday.
All right, so that's when we can do an in-race bet, right? At 1 minute mark. That'll be the next thing someday, right?
Well, yeah, I guess being a Chicago guy and in watching the Cubs and White Sox the last couple of nights and going, in game, getting your feet wet was very advantageous if you took the Northsiders when they were down 5-0 and 5-1 in both games, and you probably turned a nice little profit there if you played the in game and taking a team that was down by 4 and 5 runs.
But Jeff was saying it was shockingly low.
It was down 5-0 in the first game, Eddie. It was just only plus 240.
Right.
It's usually a down 2-0 price, which is just showing how bad the White Sox are.
Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of guys, they screenshotted me or whatever, and I think a couple of guys had gotten, again, now, depending on maybe there were outs in the inning or whenever it ended up getting to that, but I know a couple of guys that got north of plus 380 and even as high as 395. So, again, I mean, timing is everything, and you have so many different outlets, obviously, right, to take your chances. But, I think the White Sox, I saw some numbers this morning, when they do get 2+ run leads, it's not been very good. I know they're on unfortunately on a bad streak right now. But if you're into that type of thing, you've made a few bucks here in the last couple of days. That's for sure.
I just want to go back to the Belmont real quick. I was watching the Preakness. I studied the program. I'm listening to experts. I'm taking it all in. My girlfriend goes, I like the gray horse. So we bet the gray horse, and the gray horse won. And so all my mathematics and all my studying went out the window. But Seize the Gray right now is around 8-1. What do you think of Seize the Gray?
Well, unfortunately for me in the Preakness, I took the other D. Wayne Lucas, who's the trainer of Seize the Gray. And Seize the Gray went wire to wire. I was a little surprised he was going to be able to go wire to wire, which, at the end of the day, the track was muddy and, look, all props to him. So he's coming back again in the 3 weeks. He's bred to go to the distances. His sire, Arrogate, was a long-distance horse and won the Travers and the fastest running of the Travers, a race at Saratoga, and I believe it's in August in the history of the running. So going to be certainly forwardly placed, but I don't think it Seize the Gray is going to get his way. I'm not going to use him in my top 3, but I think that you will, if you like Seize the Gray, he's going to get some calls really early. So I guess, why don't I just do it? I'm going to give you my selections on Saturday. I'm going to go the horse, and then I'll tie in the Stanley Cup and the horse racing tie for the Belmont. I'm going to go with the 10 horse Mindframe, who is the has only run 2 career races. The horse did run on Derby Day, but in a lower classified race that day and ran off the screen. 2 career races, has won by a total of 20 and a half lengths. I think the horse is tactical. The horse is bred to go to the distance, meaning tactical. The horse can sit off of the pace, right? Because I see the 1 has speed. Mystic Dan, the Derby favorite, is going to be really close. To me, the whole key to the race is the 6 Dornoch. If you hear Dornoch up on the lead or putting pressure on Seize the Gray, I think that's a really good thing. The Wine Steward is another horse that has a lot of speed. So I'm looking for a horse that can be tactical. Breaking from post position, number 10, mind frame, I don't mind that at all. I think plenty of time to save some ground and get position. So all of my picks are going to be with the number 10 mind frame. Right now, 7-2 morning line. I think probably going to be more like 4-1, which is obviously great. So a lot of my plays are going to be with the 9 Sierra Leone because I think the 9's going to come rolling. So I'm going to play 9-10, 10-9 in my exactas. I'm going to play a 10-9-2-3, 10-9-3-2 when it comes to my trifectas. Long shot play will be the 2 Rinse. Made a big middle move, actually, in the Kentucky Derby. If you go back and watch the race, horse went, and he broke from post position, easy for me to say, 18 out of 20, and made a big move. And halfway through the race, actually got to within a length of the lead, and then looked like me playing in a game back in 1988 or 89 where lactic acid just set in and just absolutely the horse backed up and ended up finishing 6th, but not a bad 6th, to be honest with you. So 10-1 in the morning line. So my numbers are 10, 9, 2, 3. My pick will be the 10. Now the tie-in. The owners of the ownership group of the 10 mind frame is Mike Rapoli, and he invented vitamin water, just for anybody that doesn't know that. And he sold it to Coca-Cola, I think, for $85 billion or whatever. But so he's doing fine. But the co-owners of Mindframe are Vinny and Teresa Viola, St. Elias Stable. They run under that stable name. So Vinny and Teresa Viola have a horse running in the Belmont Stakes on Saturday night at 6:40 Eastern Time. At 8:15 Eastern, their team, the team they own, the Florida Panthers, will be playing in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final against the Edmonton Oilers. So you talk about the ultimate daily double.
Oh, wow.
Win the Belmont, and win Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. And obviously, they have bigger fish to fry, so to speak, and wanting to win the Stanley Cup. But how about that 3.5 hours there? Oh, we got a horse running in a Belmont and has a legitimate chance to win. And we got a chance to win Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. I think if you played a little parlay, if you bet 100 to win on Mindframe, you'll probably be getting back I think you're probably going to get back in that 420, 430 range, which is a nice little return. And if you want to go ahead and parlay it all on the Florida Panthers, you might turn that into about 700. So 7-1 on Mindframe winning the Belmont, and the Florida Panthers winning that game outright in Game 1. So that's your hockey
Awesome.
and horse racing, your pucks and ponies tie-in.
That
Good
is
luck to
awesome.
Violas. And by the way, they are terrific. They are terrific people, and glad to call them friends as well.
By the way, Vinny Viola, is that his name?
Yes, it is. He's got a guy, and he's got another guy. So
Look, I'm Italian. I'm Nicotero. Vinny Viola. I'm doing this bet just because of the name Vinny Viola. My God. I love that.
Oh, yeah. Look. Hey, I'm being totally honest. Like, if you look up Vinny Viola, like, there are, like, his story and where he came from, and like it's an unbelievable story to come from not a lot to becoming a very, very, very successful. He's a West Point grad too, by the way. So he's got some great stories. He does so much work in charity and does so much for the military and respecting the people that have served and actually I'm going to say don't quote me, but I'm saying it. I think he was appointed at one point. I don't know if that makes any sense. He was appointed at one point, even though he's from West Point.
Get to the point.
I
At the
think,
South Point.
I'm trying. I want him to get this right, because if not, he's got a guy. He was appointed by Donald Trump in his cabinet or on his I believe that is factual, and I think he wasn't able to accept. So That's just something. That's just a little nugget that I remember. And but I wish them luck, and that's going to be my pick, Mind Frame.
I love it
for the running of the Belmont Stakes on Saturday.
I wanted to go to a few live comments. Joey B, who's a viewer of this show, I could listen to Eddie O talk ponies all day. Love it. Someone said, bet the horse with the smallest jockey. I don't know if that's a sound. I don't know if that's a sound strategy. But Keith Lyle had a question: is there a difference in the turf track surface between Belmont and Saratoga?
Well, this race is on the dirt, just so that everybody understands that. So that the turf,
it's always in the dirt.
But look, I mean, at Belmont, it is factual. Is that at Belmont, it's a little bit of a sandier base than it is at Saratoga. So that would be the only difference. But a lot of these horses have been able to work over it and be able to train over it and look at. Some are, look at, I heard you guys talking about, pitching matchups and those type of things. Like sometimes, like I just know when I played, like there were some goalies and there were some teams that I was going to have a tough time producing. And then there were other teams, it didn't matter how bad I was playing going into it. I knew if I was going in to play Calgary or St. Louis, I was going to get on the score sheet just because I had that confidence. And it's no different than horses. Sometimes they're horses for courses, and we'll see what horses take to Saratoga. So a lot of them haven't run on it as far as racing. They have trained on it, but I think a very fair question when it comes to the dirt surface at Saratoga compared to Belmont.
All right, Chris Andrews, our sportsbook director here at the South Point, had a question for you. We'll shift to hockey. His question was, does Connor McDavid have to win a Stanley Cup to cement himself in history? No, he doesn't. No, okay.
No.
Because he's been that good already.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, Frank. And, I think when you look at what Alexander Ovechkin was doing prior to winning the Stanley Cup and then coming up short in the playoffs, I think that's the easy attack on a guy is when he's been so successful. Well, he hasn't won yet. Well, no, that is true. And it probably puts him at a higher level. But when you look at the numbers that Connor has put up in his career to this point in the MVPs, and I mean, look at what he's doing in the playoffs right now. It's not going to change my opinion on him. Not that really, matters to anybody, but look at if he ends up winning one at some point, I think people, maybe the average fan or sports fan will look at him a little bit differently. But look, he's always going to be compared to the greatest of all time, and the greatest of all time for the most part. When you look at the players that have won, whether if you really go back in the day, when you're talking about the guys with the Montreal Canadiens and in the Toronto Maple Leafs back in the day, or most recent with guys like Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby and those type of players, all of those guys have won multiple cups. So I think it's a fair question. But for me, he's going to go down for sure as one of the greatest ever play when you look at what he's been able to accomplish to this point. And maybe it gets him in the express lane, so to speak, if he does pull off a cup or two here over his NHL career.
Well, so something that Biz had mentioned once Edmonton had won Game 6 is that McDavid came into the stadium wearing the same suit in Game 4, Game 5, and Game 6. The Oilers didn't touch the conference trophy. The Panthers didn't touch the conference trophy. So superstitions play a huge role in hockey. Did you have any? And what was it?
Yeah, well, Ryan, all due respect, I don't really use that word. I just look at it as routines, like just very much creature of habit. I don't like to use that other word, but I would be shocked if we didn't see Connor McDavid wearing that same suit and combination in Game 1. Now the question is, I think I would know the answer, but I think most people would sit there and go, well, I mean, is the guy dry clean the thing at all? And I'm like, You're not dry cleaning, you're not washing, you're not doing anything. You're taking the same route to the airport. You're sitting in the same seat. You're eating the same food. You're bringing your same pillow and blankie. You're doing everything exactly right until the roof falls in, and then you go, okay, well, I can turn either the suit inside out. And by the way, some guys I played with, and then I will say this, is there are probably some people that think I should turn my suits inside out when I'm wearing them on TNT. They might look a little bit better, but you do whatever you have to do. And quick little story, if I can, you talk about routines, Ryan. At one point, I was going for a shared record with the Toronto Maple Leafs back in the late 80s where I had an 18-game scoring streak. And it ended up tying it with the great, I wasn't able to get to 19. I ended up tying it with the great Darryl Sittler, legend with the Toronto Maple Leafs and a Hall of Famer. Since then, Mitch Marner went on a 22 or 23 game heater, and nobody knows who in the hell I am anymore. But at the end of the day, for some reason on the way home, like during the streak back in Toronto, I got a little hungry on the way home because I wasn't much of a breakfast guy. I'm still not, but I had my meal usually about 1:30ish, and I would take a nap and then go back to the rink. So one day I figured out, what the hell, I'm going to stop at McDonald's and I'm going to have a vanilla milkshake and a apple pie. So I think that night I had probably 3 or 4 points, and I'm like, oh, geez, I mean, you got to keep it going here. I mean, so I think for like 14 of the, I don't even know if anybody knows this story, to be honest with you. So Ryan, this is your fault. I'll take it up with your dad at some point here.
Luckily, the machine wasn't broke.
I think for 14 straight games, I think I found myself to every McDonald's in the United States and Canada to make sure at about 11:30 a.m. I was having an apple pie and a vanilla milkshake, and then had my meal, and then I don't know what the hell happened in game 19. Well, I do know what happened in game 19. Yeah, well, no. I did not change. My line mate hit the post a couple of times. I missed an opportunity against the New York Islanders. Ended up being the goalie in that game was Glenn Healy, Glenn Healy was on the team. But he ended up being my teammate a couple of years later with the New York Rangers, and we eventually won the Stanley Cup in '94. But till this day, he always reminds me that his team ended up keeping me off of my my record-breaking streak there. So maybe a primary assist to Mickey D's with the apple pie and vanilla milkshake. So I guess, you know what? I'm Polish. Hold on. I'm Polish and Italian. I'm more Italian, Frank, than I am Polish. But I will say this. When you talk about, apple pie a la mode, I think that's the Polish version of an actual apple pie a la mode, is you go to McDonald's and have the apple pie and the vanilla milkshake like that.
He said it, folks. He's Polish. He can say it. That's an excellent story.
That's great. Eddie, going to this series, of course, you just saw Edmonton.
Yeah.
That whole series against Dallas. And really, on the defensive side of things, where there's always been questions with this group, how is their back end going to hold up? How is their goaltending going to hold up? Stuart Skinner was really good in that series against Dallas, and it really does feel like, Eddie, that he's turned a corner here after getting benched in that Vancouver series. Do you think that that corner's been turned, and how do you think he holds up against a different animal here in the Panthers?
Well, it sure looks like it, Jeff. You're right. They called it a reset. I remember Kenny Albert mentioned during this last series, that he had a reset where he didn't play games 4 and 5 or whatever the numbers were in the Vancouver series. And I jumped right in there and Kenny, look, the guy was playing awful. That's why he was a reset. Like, let's say what it is. I mean, he was not playing good, and Calvin Pickard came in and played very well. The one thing I will say is in that series, at times, Dallas had some periods where they were dominating and Stuart Skinner was able to do the job. Dallas finally got to their A game in game 6, and unfortunately for them, it was too little too late. And Stuart Skinner made some really, really good saves and gave his team an opportunity. Look, they only had 10 shots on goal in game 6. Set an NHL record.
That's amazing.
When you look at the situation that they were in, right? They had 2 goals in the first period on only 3 shots. And I said during the broadcast, the third shot that they gave credit to, that came from actually a Dallas stick. So my number said 2 shots, 2 goals. That's a pretty good shooting percentage. But look, getting back to Edmonton, they've proven that they can defend. Now, the series was not as physical against Dallas as it was against Vancouver. Florida is a tough team. They have a bully mentality. They're going to take runs at people. They're going to take penalties. Now, they got to be guarded here. You can't be taking 5 and 6 penalties against Edmonton. They had 4 power play goals in the last 2 games of that series against Dallas. So I've been thoroughly impressed with Dallas. Jeff, you weren't on when I was on the last time with Ryan and Frank. In January, I picked Dallas and Florida to get to the Cup final. I give Edmonton all the props. Like they They scored goals when they needed. Their power play got hot. Their goaltender found his game, and they were able to check for the most part all series long. I think they're up against it in this series. I'll be honest with you. When I saw the matchup, the first thing I thought of was I thought that Florida would be minus 135, 140 in the series. I was a little surprised at how low the number was. I was surprised that at some places it was minus 120, 125. I don't know what it's at right now, but I think that Florida has that ability. They can play any way that you want, but long-winded, Jeff. I think Skinner can do it now. He's going to be under siege a little bit more, and it's going to be a little bit more bumping. And like I said, the way that Florida plays, I think they're going to give Edmonton everything that they want physically. I'm expecting a few goals to go into the back of the net in game one. That's just kind of my gut feeling in that game one. I just think that there's got a chance to be one of those higher scoring games, so to speak, which these two teams have not played a whole heck of a lot of in this last round that they played in their respective conference finals.
So talking about the paths to the Cup, Florida hasn't had to leave their time zone at all through this playoff run. Mm-hmm. Edmonton has had to go back and forth between the Pacific, the Mountain, and the Central to get here. And now with this being the furthest distance between any championship in North American sports history, is that going to make a difference for Edmonton having to go forward and back? Or are they going to be used to it because they've had to jump back and forth? Or how is this going to play out for the travel-wise?
Well, look at this map here, this globe. It's probably the first time I've seen a globe since I was in 7th grade here growing up in Chicago. But the last time I checked, I think New York to Vancouver is just as long here. Like, I don't know who's doing the adding, but I mean, 30 years ago we went New York, Vancouver, and Vancouver, New York. So that was pretty long too. So maybe I'm showing my stripes here. But look, I will say this: it is long. Go back to the conference finals. They played every other day, right? Rangers, Florida, Edmonton, Dallas. Edmonton, Dallas is every bit of a 4-hour flight. So, I mean, you're right, Ryan. I mean, they've had to, they've had to pay the piper, so to speak. The one thing I will say, and it hasn't been talked about a lot, but I've been trying to talk a lot, even though I'm not working, and I'll be a fan watching. There are, if the series goes the distance, if it goes the full Monty to 7 games, the last time I checked, there are 4 2-day breaks in the series. So I don't think it's going to be as taxing as everybody is maybe drawing it up to be.
Right.
Now, if you get a couple of marathon games where you get into double and triple overtime, I don't think there's any doubt that will have an effect. Like, I think that was one of the reasons why Dallas didn't have much in the tank in that series, because they had to go through the gauntlet of Vegas, 7 games. Yep. They went through the gauntlet of Colorado, 6 games. And both those teams, Vegas and Colorado, a lot of people felt had a chance to win the Stanley Cup. Right. So it is a big deal, but I think with the breaks that they have built in, I'm not overly concerned because these guys are in incredible shape and they fly very well. And, so I don't think that the travel will have an impact, especially with the 4 2-day breaks. If it gets that long, look, right. I mean, the series could be over in 4 or 5, but that's something to keep an eye on when you are looking at this series in totality and maybe how you might want to get your feet wet, so to speak, in this series.
All right. Now, I don't know if you heard this. We know there's several Eddie's names on the Stanley Cup. There has never been someone named Evan to win a Stanley Cup, and each team has an Evan.
Really?
Yeah, that's something Ryan found. Yeah. So this will be the first time the name Evan. Someone named Evan found this out. I can't remember.
Someone named Evan found it out. So between Evan Bouchard and Evan Rodriguez, there will finally be an Evan. On the cup.
So who's gonna hoist the Stanley Cup in your opinion?
Well, look, like I said, I picked Dallas and Florida in January. Obviously, Dallas is at home. I think Florida. I just think Florida's a little deeper. They've got the experience, obviously, losing last year to the VGK in the Cup final. So, I'm leaning towards Florida. If you're asking me for a number of games, I'd say 5. Wow, I wouldn't have a problem with saying in 5 games. Wow. But, look at if Florida wears out a path to the penalty box, they're asking for trouble. Yep. So, because I think that will allow Edmonton to, so-called hang around. But look nothing would surprise me. You have 2 of the top, 7 players in the league on Edmonton and Draisaitl, and obviously Connor being number 1. So, But I just think it's Florida's year, and we'll see how it all plays out.
All right, and my last thing, and Ryan and Jeff, if you have anything after this, I was lucky enough, Phil Bork, who played for the Penguins and won the Stanley Cup.
Mad Dog.
He was
my former roommate with the New York Rangers, by the way.
Oh, really? Was Bork?
We played together.
Oh, wow. So he's the best. So I got to know Phil because he used to come to the Funny Bone all the time. Well, our the radio station that I worked at once a week as a guest comic, he brought the cup to our softball game that night on a Monday night. And I have a picture of me. Now, I didn't know this.
Oh, no.
It's me hoisting the Stanley Cup, which I have now found out that you're not supposed to do if you're not a player. This is a bad thing that I did. Is that right?
I don't know about that. I mean, you see
in the clear.
Yeah, you see.
I'm
people.
in the clear. Eddie gave me the clear.
I caught grief because I remember the picture I showed the last time
with the horse.
Here, I'll grab it again. Hold on a second. Hold on.
This is the same picture. This was
the greatest.
What was the horse's name? Obviously, he'll tell us. I can't remember.
Go for Gin.
Go for Gin. I knew it had something to do with alcohol.
Go for Gin and Nick Zito.
There it is.
I caught grief for this.
Right.
So look at Frank. Frank, you want to pick up the Stanley Cup and wear it as a hat? Feel free. I mean,
I'm off the hook. I love it.
So the guy that has the Stanley Cup pretty much, can I do this? Can I eat a little, can I eat a little strawberry and banana ice cream? Yeah, sure. Whatever you want. I mean, trust me, whatever you do, I've seen and I've heard a lot worse.
Right.
So just you picking it up is A-okay.
Okay.
You're probably the funniest person that's ever picked it up. I will say that.
Listen, I will take that. Ryan, Jeff, anything to close? This time is valuable. We can't believe that the half hour has gone by this quickly.
No, I just wanted to say thank you, Eddie. Have fun in Saratoga. Hopefully you get the winner on
I can't wait. I'll be there. I'll be there as a fan and looking forward to it. And again, keep an eye on that Ultimate Daily Double there for the Vinny and Teresa Viola there. The 10-horse Mind Frame is the horse that is my pick, and I will be wagering with both hands. I'm just going to let you know. That's how good I feel about the 10 horse.
We're doing it. Tremendous. This is the second time you've come on the show. We really appreciate the time and all the humor. And by the way, yesterday I was watching the Pirate game. They have an outfielder named Edward Olivares, and the announcers called him Eddie O a couple times. And I said, no. You can't do that. In Pittsburgh, there's only one Eddie O that's ever been. Cut that out. I'm going to write Greg Brown, the announcer, and tell him stop that. But
no, Brownie's good. I think that's maybe a little amateur. I mean, I actually got my current nickname, so to speak, my nickname Edzo from Kevin Stevens,
that's
Arthur
right.
Louise. I call him Arthur Louise. That's a long story, but Artie gave me that name. So most people in the Berg know me as Edzo, and then most people in Chicago, Ryan's dad's hometown, know me as Eddie O. But at least they know me as something. My late mother always said, if they don't know who you are, then you got a problem. So hopefully they still remember me.
Outstanding. Well, we will remember your appearances on this show forever. Thank you so much for doing this.
If you guys get stuck, somebody cancels on you, you need somebody from the bullpen in the Cup final. You want to talk, just give me a text. Let me know.
Ryan's got the connection. We really appreciate it. And we're going to sign off. I mean, there's nothing else we can do. We'll do Frankie Fungo trivia next time when you're here.
For next week.
And we got some posts we'll do tomorrow, or what?
I think we should do the Fungo.
You want to do the Fungo?
You know what? There's one that we have to do.
Do one. We'll end with one.
We'll end with one. All right, Ryan.
Thank you, Eddie Olczyk. Thank you, Eddie. That was amazing.
See you guys.
Tremendous. Oh, I can take the headphones off. Outstanding. That was the quickest 32 minutes ever on our show. By the way.
I was not going to do this to you, but because
all right. What do we got
Ryan
here?
brought it up.
It'll be the second
so,
one, Sean. 22.
Fungo trivia, of course, the Pirates and the Dodgers completing a series tonight.
Okay.
So, actually, we might have to do two of these.
All right, hold on.
But this guy played for both of these teams in the same year.
Oh.
In the same year.
Okay, 2010. That is not Jim Gott. Is it Jim Gott?
No,
Jim Gott. Jim Gott didn't play that.
I know. It's the first name that popped into my head. And then he played for Colorado. Oh, no. Not Tony Watt. 59 and 50 record, 378, 21 saves with the Pirates. Is he a lefty?
He's not a lefty.
Righty.
It's a righty. Right. Dodgers and Pirates. Terry Forster was in the 70s. Then he went to Colorado. Solomon Torres, no. I need a clue on it.
I can't give you a clue, Frank.
Yeah.
You gotta keep going here.
It's not. I mean, I see Dodgers. Dodgers
Played for a lot of teams.
It was part of a trade.
This isn't Edwin Jackson again, is it?
No,
It's not Edwin Jackson.
That was
It is.
In the trade with the Dodgers, the Pirates got back Andrew Limbo and James McDonald.
I don't think that's going to help.
That doesn't. I remember both those guys being bums.
We've done him before.
You sons of. Okay, it's not. Who?
It's Octavio Dotel.
Dotel.
Come on, come on now. It's the 5th time we've used them.
Octavio Dotel, one of Chris Berman's best nicknames of all time. All right, and then do we have one more we have to do?
Do you want to do it too? Even though this might.
We'll do the.
Yeah, I think
20.
you know which one.
Hold
we're
on.
going with here.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Oh no, the
I'm
other
sorry.
one.
I'm sorry.
The other one.
Okay.
Even though
I
this
didn't
is a
look
good
at that.
one.
You can
24,
save that.
24.
All right, here we go. Played for the Dodgers. Is this R.J. Reynolds? Hold on. Lee Lacy? Wait.
No, look at
Chris,
this.
you can help me on this
read
too.
through it.
I know. Los Angeles Dodgers 83-85. Pirates 85-90. Yeah, he was done by then. Extra base hits. Scored game-winning run in the NL. Oh, Sid Bream, you son of a get that out of here. If I read the last line first.
I'm surprised Ryan included the last line there. But
Vinny and Chris are in here. Are we in trouble, or should we wrap the show?
I was going to tell you what a great show.
There you go.
it was a good show.
Eddie O said he wants to come on again.
Yes, he does.
Sign him up now.
Ryan, send the email.
By the way, he's Edzo.
Edzo, I know.
To Ryan.
He's Chicago, we're Pittsburgh. Sean, great job cutting the show today. Jerry, thank you. Caden, Ryan, excellent job getting Eddie O. Jeff, always a pleasure having you here. We have a room full of guys right now because Anne's on vacation. We're going to just keep talking sports. Thank you for watching the show. Remember, you can watch us here on South Point Studios, all our shows. Come back tomorrow. Alex White, myself, and Ryan. Punchlines. Line stands for Live in Nevada, every show.